What's going on, guys? Just calling with Brent for guys today, coming at you with a little bit of Super Mario Odyssey news for you guys today, my friends. They showed a brand new trailer, which you guys are seeing up on screen first. They showed a bunch of gameplay with in Treehouse Live's stream. It was a really good time, man. I really enjoyed seeing all this stuff, and we got a load of new information that we're gonna go through real quick in this video. And honestly, man, this game looks so insanely amazing. Now, the first thing you guys are gonna notice with this dinosaur is this dinosaur has a Mario hat. It has specifically the hat with eyes, which that hat's name is Cappy. So that's the first piece of information we're going to give you guys. As you guys can kind of see with the dinosaur, there's certain objects and creatures you can throw your hat Cappy at, and you can actually control that object or that creature, which is absolutely insane. Super cool. As you guys see right now on screen, Cappy's original form is that kind of white hat, if you will, and whenever you buy different kind of hats, Cappy just kind of takes form in that hat, if you will. It's really cool. Also, as you guys can see on screen there's certain parts, you've seen it really briefly, there's certain parts where you can kind of, you know, mesh into the wall for like a 2D effect, kind of like a Link Between Worlds where you become a painting, but you know, you kind of it turns into like a 2D portion of the game, a 2D puzzle, if you will. Really cool stuff, as you guys see there. I mean, you know, you're taking control of different enemies. Anyway, so it's a really cool game. I cannot wait. It comes out October 27th. We're gonna go through a few notes. I was gonna write down my own notes, but I noticed that Nintendo Everything has a bunch of notes kind of, you know, conveniently set up there. So I'm gonna link their article in the description below for credit, because I'm gonna read off their notes just for convenience. So hats, the hat serves as a weapon, a platform, and a way to collect items, and a tool to capture enemies, as we just kind of you know, talked about. The hat throws are mapped to Joy-Con motion controls. So there is a little bit of motion controls in the game as well, but you can also use the X and Y buttons to fling the hat. So it's kind of either or, you can choose. But from what I'm hearing is that motion controls are a little bit more precise and easier to use than the actual buttons, which is very interesting. Flicking your wrists once throws the hat out. Flicking them up or down will send your hat in those directions. Flicking both wrists also creates a spin attack, spinning the hat around Mario. So you can kind of do I guess you kind of say like Link in Zelda, where he spins a sword in a circle, but instead you're spinning your hat in a circle. Switch Pro Controller is supported, which also has gyro support, of course. You can capture certain bullet bills to fly across areas that are inaccessible to Mario. So it's just really cool. I mean, you can literally capture different kind of enemies, Goombas, bullet bills. It's insane. You can capture light bulb like objects to zoom to inaccessible areas of New Donk City. So it's kind of like zip lines, if you will. I guess you could say kind of like in Splatoon or Splatoon 2, where you can kind of, you know, zip down a zip line. It's similar to that. The worlds are called kingdoms, and you know, we're not sure how many there are, but you know, there seems to be a lot, because they said that the game is pretty big. There's loads of collectibles. They said there's a lot of kingdoms, but they wouldn't obviously say how much, or how many rather. Capturable giant binoculars that can give you a better vantage point of the whole area. So it's kind of like, you know, those binoculars are back where you can look through them, but this time you throw your hat at them and you kind of become the binoculars, and then, you know, you can it kind of springs up to see around the area, if you will. You can capture a chain chomp, and it will let you break down huge obstacles. So I mean, you could become a chain chomp pretty much. I mean, how insane is that? It's also worth noting though, sometimes certain enemies have hats, and before you can capture them, you have to knock off their hat first and then be able to capture them, because you replace their hat with your hat, Cappy, right? Extremely stretchy legged monsters are used to hop to new platforms. So again, you become those monsters, and you can you know, hop up to platforms you couldn't reach with Mario on his own unless you became these creatures. Wild looking capture opportunities were part of the huge prototyping process that took place for Super Mario Odyssey, and it was this process that led to the game's different kingdoms with different game mechanics, because each kingdom has like different kind of mechanics different kind of enemies you can capture that do different things, or different, you know, different objects you can capture to do different things like that. So it's very interesting. Every kingdom is different, and you know, every kingdom kind of poses their own kind of puzzles for you to solve that are, you know, unique to those kingdoms, which is super interesting, and it's going to keep every single kingdom super fresh. Stages have high density of gameplay elements. Mario must rescue Princess Peach from Bowser yet again. The idea is that Bowser is trying to marry Princess Peach, and so there's this whole wedding thing going on. He's taken her far outside of the Mushroom Kingdom for this jaunt. They're not saying, again, like I said, how many kingdoms are in the game, but they'll be diverse, that's for sure. We will see things that were never seen before in Mario titles. Many of these things you've seen in the real world. Power moons are the things you collect, so instead of like shine sprites or whatever, now they're power moons. So I mean, you know, they've done the stars, they've done the suns, the shine sprites, and now they're power moons. So they're doing everything in the solar system pretty much, one by one. So power moons are what you're going to collect. So you can collect the single ones. You can collect like the grand power moons, which are like the grand shine sprites or whatever, which, you know, you get the grand power moons when you defeat a boss, for example. These are what power Mario's airship as he flies from kingdom to kingdom. So again, it's kind of like in you know, in Super Mario Galaxy, you needed more of those stars to kind of power the ship to fly to further galaxies. So it's kind of the same concept. Instead of Mario being kicked out to a main world after he finds each, he'll keep moving ahead to new ones. So that's pretty cool. So you know, because obviously in past games you have multiple stars or shine sprites in one world, and you know, you'd get one and then you get kicked out, and then you'd have to go back into the level to get, you know, another one. Usually each world had like 7 or 8, you know, shine sprites or whatever. So this time you can just collect them all in one run. You don't get kicked out every single time you get a power moon. So that's really cool. Far more power moons than main game collectibles in games like Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine. Let me repeat that. Far more power moons than main game collectibles in Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine. So that's way more. So just judging from that little piece of information, you can tell that the game is probably going to be a lot longer than those games, which is obviously a good thing. Those games are amazing, but I mean, the longer the better. The more content, the better. Not 100% sure what this next piece of information is supposed to mean. It's worded kind of strangely. If you guys know, let me know in the comments section below. But it says there aren't also any mandatory story moons to collect as well. Again, I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to mean, but let me know if you guys do understand it. They said that this was difficult to develop for. Also, you can continue the story or just explore around and go at your own pace. So I mean, you can really do either or. It's a little bit more open in that sense. You know, you can just explore around or continue the story, do whatever you want. And it says choosing either of those play styles is something Nintendo hadn't really had to do before in 3D Mario. So definitely a lot of interesting stuff, my friends. There's a lot of information to kind of take in, a lot of new information, really exciting stuff. Super Mario Odyssey looks like an amazing game. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. It's going to be so much fun. Again, it comes out October 27th this year, 2017. So make sure you guys get your pre-orders in. And let me know if you guys are excited for Super Mario Odyssey. What do you think of it? I'm really excited. I think this is, it looks like an amazing game. It looks like it's going to be so much fun. And it just, I was smiling so much when I was watching the gameplay and the trailer and all that stuff. It just looks like a huge joy of fun, man. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed the video, smash the like button, subscribe to the comment, share, and all awesome stuff. Like I said, we're going to be streaming Super Mario Odyssey when it comes out in October. So if you guys are not, you know, subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to always stay notified on all the videos and streams instantly. So again, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Like always, until then, game on.